first started teaching Angie eye contact, we would get a little piece of a treat. We would let her smell it. We'd bring it up to her eye, and then we'd reward her. Have a good day. Good girl. So we progressed that to then adding the verbal cue eyes. So now she knows what that means. So then we went from just guiding her to now we're using the word eyes. Yes. Good. From there, we would let her get distracted once she got used to what that word meant. And then we would start to call out the word and have her turn and look at us. So I'm going to kind of let her get distracted. Eyes. Yes. Good. I want to make sure that I'm rewarding her. She still gets distracted sometimes, so I want to make sure that in times that she's really distracted that I give her a reward, I give her a lot of praise. She works really well for food, but you also want to make sure you're not relying on it all the time. Good job. Eyes. Yes. Good. Notice I'm saying yes before I give her that treat, so yes is just the marker to say you got it right. Good job. All right, so now we're going to talk about how we taught Angie to sit. At first, we taught her how to sit with just a hand signal, which is the flat palm up like this. So usually whenever you do it, it looks just like that. Good girl. Come on. So later on, we added the verbal cue, sit, to the hand signal as well. And she does well with both. She prefers down for a lot of things, so she might just go straight to that down. We've allowed that because it's still a good behavior and it keeps her from jumping up. But in certain moments, she'll sit for you as well. Come see Angie. So now we're going to demonstrate it for you. Angie, come. Good. I'm letting her sniff that treat, holding it over her head. Yes. And then she gets a treat for the sit. Her release word is free. The word free. So whenever you say free, that means you're done. You can get up. If she gets up before you say that word, you say and you have her sit again. And that way she understands that she's not allowed to get up until you tell her that she can. And this is for, you know, not a lot of time. We're looking at maybe 5, 8 seconds at the most. If we're asking her to stay longer than that, we're going to use a stay. So just the regular sit, there's an implied stay. We want her to just keep her butt down for a little bit longer. So again, we have that hand signal. Good girl. And then her release word is free. Free. Come on. Good girl. Okay, so now we're going to talk about down, which is one of her favorite behaviors to do. She loves down. She'll throw it out there whenever you don't want her to. It's actually kind of funny. But we work through it. So down, we have the hand signal, and it's a flat palm down like this. So this was sit, this is down. So whenever we did it at first, come here, Angie. We taught her to sit. Come here, Angie, come. We taught her to sit, and then we taught her to down. So she'll do it for both. Notice she goes on her hip like that. I like them to settle because it keeps her from popping out of the position, and that way she hangs out for a little bit longer. Good girl. Free. Very good. Angie, come. Sit. Good. Down. Good. So she'll do it for the verbal cue as well. So notice she goes on that hip every single time, and that's because we've been consistent and bringing it around, and you won't have to worry about making her go on her hip because she's going to do that. Angie, come see. Okay, so we're going to work on stay now. So the hand signal for stay is just a hand like this. That's pretty universal. So whenever we do it, she has a sit stay and a down stay. So they're two separate things. And stay is a fixed position. So that means if I ask her to sit and stay there, that means I don't want her to lay down. I don't want her to get up. And then if I ask her to down stay, obviously the same thing. Angie prefers a down stay. Down is her favorite position. So usually we just skip over the sit stay. We just go ahead and do a down stay because she's more comfortable whenever she's in that position. Okay, so for the stay, Angie, sit. Down. I'm going to ask her to get into the down position. Angie, stay. And then I'm going to give her my hand signal and give her the verbal cue stay. I can go ahead and drop the leash with her because I know she's going to stay there. And then we can start to add a little bit of distance. So we've started to add distance and time to her stay. And she does really, really well with it. I should be able to walk across the room and she still stays. Good. Whenever you reward for a stay, you always come back to the dog, yes, to give them that treat. And again, her release word is free. Good. All right, so Angie also knows how to come when called. This is one that we worked a lot at. It's something that's super important. It's a safety thing. We want to make sure that she's not going to run away from you, run into the street, anything like that. So what we've done is worked on her recognizing the verbal cue like everything there's that. So right now I'm kind of going to let her mosey on around the room and see what she does. And then I'm going to call her. Angie, come. Good girl. Good job. Yes, good girl. All right, go play. So after we do that, I tell her to go play, which is just letting her know, thank you for coming. Okay, now you can go and play again. We don't want to call her just for going inside or going to the vet or getting a bath, because that stuff isn't fun. We want to make sure that we're calling her in between those times to practice, let her know how good she is, and then letting her go and play again. Angie, come. Good job. Good girl. Good girl. Very good. All right, go play. Good. Good job. So there's ways that you can make this fun at home. You can play hide and seek in the house, which is you going like around the corner and calling her and her finding you, and you having some yummy treats or just petting her and loving on her a lot. You can make it fun that way. We also did recall races with her, and I would be on one end and I would have somebody on the other, and we both have a little handful of treats, and we would call her back and forth. So you can do that in the backyard, in the house even. You want to make training games fun, because if she enjoys it, then you enjoy it, and then she learns a lot better. All right, so we also taught Angie how to wait at thresholds, which means that there is an imaginary line, and she can't cross it until we tell her that she can. This is to help her from barging out of the door, taking off down the street or something like that. We want to make sure that she's waiting patiently for us to tell her that it's time to go. So I'm going to go ahead and open this. Angie. I'm going to open it up. If Angie tries to go through, I'm just going to block her with my body and let her know to wait. This is the hand signal for wait. It's just a wave back and forth. Wait. I want to be able to turn to the side and have her still respect that I don't want her to cross this line. If she tries to go through, I block her and I say, Yes, good job. Good job. Andy, wait. So still, I didn't give her her release word, so she's still not allowed to go through. 3. Now she can go through. Good girl. Very good. And we're going to do it at this door as well. Angie. So I want to make sure that I get in front of her, because if I'm to the side, it's going to be a lot harder for you to block her if she does try to go through. And this is up to you to just keep this consistent and make sure that you're making her wait at doors, especially if you go out in public, because she gets really excited in public. So you have to make sure that you have some expectations for her whenever you go places, because if that automatically gets her into work mode and it has her pay attention a little bit more. Wait. And eyes. Wait. Good girl. Yes. Good job. Free. Good. So Angie was a bit of a jumper, and she still can be sometimes. So if she jumps up on you, you want to make sure that you're not pushing her down and you're not giving her hands and things to play with. So you want to just tuck your hands up and just turn away from her, and you say, and you ask for that sit instead, and then she can be petted. So for other people, we decided to teach Angie an automatic down, so that whenever people approach, she automatically lays down to keep her from jumping on them. So to do that, we had people approach, and they would stop at a certain distance, and they wouldn't let, I wouldn't let them approach anymore until she was in the down position. So Whitley's walking up, so she laid down, so she'll go ahead and pet her. Good, she likes belly rubs. Good, now go ahead and walk away. Free. Good, we're gonna go ahead and do this again. That way you can see it. Good girl.